Oppenheimer is a 3-hour, $100 million TED Talk on guilt, quantum physics, and Cillian Murphy's cheekbones. Critics call it a masterpiece. I call it a lot. Let's break down why this atomic epic splits audiences like uranium. Let's start with the undeniable. Cillian Murphy is phenomenal. His Oppenheimer is a talented genius, drowning in moral rot. Every twitch, every chain-smoking pose, masterclass. That scene where he quotes the Bhagavad Gita, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds," chills.
And now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Fun fact: Murphy has studied Oppenheimer's real voice recordings and lost 25 pounds to mimic his gaunt physique. He even worked with a quantum physicist to nail the science jargon. Here's the kicker: he's babysitting a script that's 50% science jargon, 30% men yelling in rooms, and 20% Florence Pugh existing solely to be sad. Nolan gave Murphy a Golden Globe and a PhD in looking tortured. Big cinema. The rest, PowerPoint presentation on how to feel bad about nukes. Nolan's non-linear storytelling isn't clever. It's exhausting. Black and white scenes for Strauss's POV, color for Oppenheimer's. Congrats, you just turn a biopic into a Where's Waldo game. And the pacing? The first hour is Oppenheimer learning Dutch. Riveting. The Trinity test? Stunning. The 45 minutes Senate hearing? Ambient with better suits.
Me, but how was I supposed to?
You sat here and let me tell you how it's done, but you've been far ahead all along.
Professor, when does the movie start? Let's talk about Nolan's women. Emily Blunt's Kitty Oppenheimer? Reduced to glaring, drinking, and slapping people. Florence Pugh's Jane Tadlock? A tragic manic pixie dream communist. Historical context. The real Kitty Oppenheimer was a biologist and activist, but the film sidelines her. Jane Tadlock, a psychiatrist and a Communist Party member, is reduced to Oppenheimer's guilt trigger.
I'll bite.
I tried to poison my tutor.
Did you hate him?
I liked him very much.
Her only moment of agency? A slap. Bravo, Nolan. Meanwhile, Florence Pugh's role? Exist, cry, die. At least the atomic bomb got more character development.
Perhaps one day an astronomer finds one, but right now all I have is theory, which can't impact people's lives.
Ludwig Göransson's score is brilliant and loud enough to crack IMAX speakers. The Trinity test explosion? A sensory masterpiece. The dialect scenes? Wait, what did they say about plutonium? Fun fact: Nolan recorded the actual sound of nuclear fusion using a Tesla coil for Trinity test scene. Science is cool. Eardrums? Not so much.
Also had American Prometheus, the book, which Chris adapted for his screenplay. And then there is just endless amounts of reading material available on Oppenheimer and that time, and there's
Nolan, we get it. It's intense. Turn it down.
Okay, let's do one more of those.
Nolan's script is based on Kai Bird and Martin J. Sherwin's Pulitzer-winning book, but he skips key details. Oppenheimer's communist tie? Simplified. The actual victims of Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Glossed over. Powerful? Yes, but reducing a genocide to a guilt montage? That's Hollywood ethics for you. Robert Downey Jr. as Louis Strauss? Iron Man this ain't. His petty bureaucrat is a carrier, high performance, every smirk is a dagger. Fun fact, Downey studied tapes of Strauss's real Senate hearings to nail his mannerism, but his subplots feels like a separate movie.
It became definitive, and he wasn't always patient with us mere mortals.
And Matt Damon's General Groves, he's here to bark orders and eat sandwiches. Think Jason Bourne, if Bourne loved uranium.
A prize for making a bomb.
Hoyte van Hoytema's cinematography, stunning.
Is it go?
Shit, how are we gonna do this? Because he's gonna want to do this.
The Trinity test explosion in black and white IMAX, pure ow. Fun fact, Nolan shot the Trinity test without CGI, using practical effects like gasoline, aluminum powder, and giant balloons. The result? $100 million science fair project that works. But Nolan's obsession with close-ups of Cillian's eyeballs? We get it. He's tormented. Give the man some Visine.
Dr. Oppenheimer. Dr. Oppenheimer.
Best Picture? Yes. Nolan's ambition paid off.
I thought Berkeley had the leading theoretical physics department.
Yes.
Best Actor for Cillian? Absolutely. But Best Score? Ludwig's music is genius if you enjoy hearing damage. Still, Oppenheimer's Oscars sweep proves one thing. Hollywood loves a tortured guy in a hat. Oppenheimer is Nolan's most important film and his most alienating. It's a technical marvel with a soul as cold as the atomic core. Final scores: IMDb 8.3 out of 10, Rotten Tomatoes 93% critics and 91% audiences, Metacritic 90 Metascore, a must-see, and 8.5 user score, and Cinema Row rating 8 out of 10. Flawed, unforgettable, and begging for a re-edit.
What's the difference? We can already drown Russia. They know how to
They can drown us.
Attention spoiler junkies, this is your signal. If you are still Oppenheimer virgin, slam that subscribe button, give that like button a nuclear blast, hit pause and eject yourself to the cinema. For the rest of us, let's dissect this atomic behemoth. Spoiler warning, atomic bomb ahead. First up, the Trinity test. Nolan's practical effects here are jaw-dropping, but did you catch the eerie silence before the explosion? That's not just for drama. It's historically accurate. The real Oppenheimer described it as a silence that could be felt. But here's the kicker. The aftermath, Oppenheimer's guilt montage, is haunting, but it glosses over the real human cost. Hiroshima and Nagasaki, reduced to a single line, "I've blood on my hand."
I feel that I have blood on my hands.
You think anyone in Hiroshima or Nagasaki gives a shit who built the bomb? They care who dropped it. I did. Hiroshima isn't about you.
Powerful? Yes, but it feels like Nolan's dodging the full moral weight. And let's talk about Robert Downey Jr.'s Louis Strauss. His courtroom takedown of Oppenheimer is chilling. But did you notice how his petty vendetta mirrors Oppenheimer's own hubris? It's a masterclass in duality. Finally, Florence Pugh's Jean Tadlock. Her tragic death is handled with all the subtlety of a sledgehammer.
Never saw her again.
Was it necessary to show her naked in every scene? Nolan, we get it. She's Oppenheimer's guilt trigger. But maybe let her be a person, not a plot device. So, what did you think? Did Nolan nail the moral complexity, or did he fumble the fallout? Let's argue in the comments. But keep it civil. No nukes, please.
Read this.
Well, in this part,
Agree? Disagree? Share your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like button if you'd survive Nolan's 3-hour lecture. Share with your film squad and subscribe for more deep dives into movies that split atoms and opinions.
Now it's your turn to deal with the consequences of your achievement.
This is Cinema Roar, signing off before we all become death, the destroyers of boredom.